What's up everyone? Welcome to the next lesson. Fun stuff today. We'll be working on this image here. And this is where AI meets 3D in a real case scenario. We'll introduce the character into a full 3D scene. And this is sort of a storytelling that was not possible without AI even a year ago, so it's quite exciting. Today we'll go through the theory of this approach. Super duper short and sweet lesson, but it will get longer and beefier in the next two ones. We'll actually have two different ways of achieving this image. Either way, let's get at it. First of all, storytelling is pretty important. I think at this stage of our ArchViz industry, we can all agree on that one. We need our images to be more than pretty renderings, and honestly, there's a lot that we can do other than a pretty image. Look at something like an IKEA catalog. It's packed with storytelling. People interacting with the space, using kitchen appliances, pulling something out of a closet. And sure, on a photo set you can ask actors to do that and even style them to match the interior. But here's the thing. Now we can do literally the same inside 3ds Max, without paying millions for the photoshoot. But back to our Mediterranean image. With people and one cute little doggo, it looks even more powerful. It immediately brings more emotions, make me like 10 times happier looking at it. This is what we are aiming for. Boring and generic 2D cutouts or the same 3D models everyone is using are not enough. Okay, so how to approach this? Actually, there are a few ways we could tackle this. We'll show two different ways in this masterclass. One that's the best will come a bit later. It's more advanced and honestly more fun to do. We'll curate characters in Midjourney and turn them into 3D models, which is pretty insane, but that's coming up later. Today, we'll show you something equally fun, a bit more post-production heavy and an absolute must to know. So the idea is to start with the character in 3D and then improve it in post-production. But at the same time, we don't want to spend too much time in 3D, so that begs the question. How far do we need to push in 3D and still get a decent result? In this case, our 3D output will be like this. Not something you would expect, but just because it looks the way it looks, doesn't mean it's useless. Quite the opposite, it's a great starting point for post-production. We have the placement, we have an outline of activity, we have contact shadows, accurate lighting around, even reflections where they need to be. That's a step forward already. And next up, we'll just change those characters. Not automatically, but piece by piece. Same as we did in generative fill lesson. We'll change the arms, faces, cuffs, clothes, t-shirt, pretty much everything. And fun fact, in the next lesson we'll use Midjourney to do it. And in the last lesson of this chapter we will use Firefly. Different tools to do the same thing. And in case you are wondering, could we use something closer to the final result? The answer is yes, absolutely. We could have opted for a girl instead of a grown woman. We could search for a better 3D model of the guy. Although in this particular case I'm not even sure if you'd find one. But anyway, we used such far-fetched models on purpose. Why? Well, we wanted to show what are the capabilities of this workflow. Get through the 3D part quickly and just fix it in post. There's a lot going on, not gonna lie, it's a fun one. You will see how it all came together a bit later in this training. So it's an absolute must to get familiar with the approach we're about to teach you. Lots of good stuff. Okay, so that's it for now. In the next lesson we'll jump into practice. See you there!